right, let's pick up on that good news that was mentioned earlier. The N3 and the N2 freeways are open once again. Let's speak now to Patrick O'Leary, editor of Fleetwatch Magazine. So, Patrick, we were chatting last night, and you said that the plan was very likely to reopen with military escort for trucks. What is your understanding of the reopening of the N3? What are the conditions? How is it all working?
It seems to be working very well, Sally. Hi. There is a military presence at the key danger areas like Moy River Plaza. Also a strong police presence along the N3. So the trucks are rolling again. The N3's open, that's all good news. But Sally, we've got good and bad news. And the good news is that the trucks are rolling. And I want to assure the people of South Africa that I've seen it before. The trucking industry has an enormous amount of resilience in tackling problems, and they go all out to try and fix things. And that is what they're doing at the moment. The problem in KwaZulu-Natal is that the distribution centres have been burnt, many of them. Pick and Pays has gone, Clicks has gone, Value Logistics have gone. So a lot of trucks are having to take supplies back to the manufacturers, while others that can get through are doing their best to get through. And once the goods are in the distribution centres, they then get transferred to smaller trucks. And many of those trucks have been burnt, and many of the smaller stores have been burnt. So the bad news is that KwaZulu-Natal, Durban, you're going to have shortages for some time. But I can assure you, and also there's, Sally, you asked me the question yesterday about trucks, how many been, I got a report just now of 150 trucks at last count been burnt and destroyed. So those are also smaller trucks that distribute into the suburbs have also been burnt. So there's a big logistical problem here, but the trucking industry, I can assure you, is going all out to try and help KwaZulu-Natal.
Yesterday you said that it looks like the N3 might close overnight. Do you know if that's actually the plan?
No, it's open. It's open 24/7, and we're just really urging people to really. I wouldn't travel at night as a personal person. I wouldn't advise anybody to do that. The dangers are still there. The truckers are travelling convoy. Interesting, Sally. I've spoken to a few security companies. There's been a bigger demand for physical escorts of trucks along the N3. But it is open at night. It's open 24 hours.
So as you're explaining, it's not just about getting those trucks down the highway. It's actually having somewhere for those goods to go once the truck arrives and having smaller trucks to move them to the areas they need to go. What are the individual companies doing? What are the contingencies that they're discussing? Are you aware?
Well, they are working with the manufacturers. Some have to just wait. They are going to try and deliver as the stores open, they will deliver to the stores. Okay? But at the moment, Sally, they're all sitting around tables trying to reorganize the whole logistic chain because, as I said, the whole supply chain has been disrupted. So they're making plans left, right, and center. And there will be deliveries into stores that are open in Durban tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday of things like baby formula, whatever that can go. The problem is perishables, like chicken and that, as I said the other night. Those things need cold stores to go into. And, one of the big cold stores has been burnt down in Durban. So there'll be shortages for, they can expect shortages for the next 1 to 2 weeks. But I don't think longer than that. I think, I know this industry, I know this trucking industry, I've known it for many years. They pull out all stops. They're the most amazing people.
That's amazing. Update me on what you're hearing about the N2, which we also know has reopened. Which area of the N2 exactly?
Which area has been opened?
Yeah, because I know it goes along the coast, doesn't it?
Yes, it goes along the coast up to Richards Bay, all that way up there. It's open, but there's been a lot of sporadic attacks on the NT. The roads are still not safe, Sally. They're open, but they're still not safe. So that's the increase from the truckers of asking for hands-on escorting the trucks along the road. And please, I'm asking any private person, don't travel at night. Don't. Stay home. Go to the pub. Do whatever you want to do. But
no, the pubs are all closed.
No, and the warehouses was looted, so there's no booze. but stay home. I don't know. Have a braai.
Yeah.
Don't go on the roads at night. But the trucks are going to be riding at night. They want to get this country moving again. And it's not only solely to supply the people. They've got their own assets. They've got their own staff in employment. You know, and some of those truck drivers, what a lot of people didn't realize, they were stuck for days. In Richards Bay, there were truck drivers who were stuck. And the truck drivers, organizations and that, helped those truck drivers get food. Down at Maiden Wharf, the truck drivers were stopped. There were people cooking food for them, taking food
Amazing.
to them. So they're there. They're on the front line,
So
and they'll
good to hear.
continue to service this country.
Patrick, what can you tell me
Danny
about...
will get you your face cream.
Thank you. That's very kind. What can you tell me about the ports? I know that Richards Bay and Durban ports have been closed, and of course the trucks often deliver and receive from there. So what's the situation at the ports? Do you have an update?
Sally, I haven't got my finger totally on the pulse of the ports. There's been huge disruptions at the ports.
Yeah.
But I know that they are opening certain sections and certain divisions, certain sections periodically for so many hours and all that. But I wouldn't like to give an accurate indication of what's happening at the ports at the moment.
All right.
But there are problems there, you know, and that affects our exports and our imports.
Yeah, that definitely has to be kept an eye on as well. Very briefly on fuel,
Sally,
SAPREF going to open soon? Yep.
Sorry, last thing. It's not only that we're looking at South Africa with trucking. The whole region relies on that entry and relies on Durban Port. Durban Port has already lost a lot of copper exports from DRC. They are going through, I think, Dar es Salaam or somewhere. Those copper trucks are not running at the moment. They're too risky. So the whole region is affected by this. You know, we've been talking South Africa, but Lesotho gets all its imports from South Africa. And all the landlocked countries get fuel and all the imports from South Africa. So those are, and I had to laugh today when on your program earlier, a Zimbabwean truck driver was interviewed. And he said, no, you must learn from us, from Zimbabwe. Do you remember when we used to say we don't want to become another Zimbabwe? Now we're taking advice from Zimbabwean truck drivers, how not to do it.
Yeah.
Very ironical.
Cautionary tales. Thank you so much, Patrick O'Leary, editor of Fleetwatch Magazine. Some good news saying that the truckers are determined to get that food through, but of course reminding us that there are logistical problems with warehouses that have been burnt down and destroyed. It's how you get the food once it has arrived, which is going to be a logistical problem. But as he says, everyone is meeting to discuss exactly that this evening.